to the entry of Yeush, giving up. Pele Yoetz writes about. Chazal in Perkei Avot, first chapter, Mishnah 7. If a person goes through some personal suffering, he should not give up, because the world is galgal. The world is like a circle. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. We know that the moon, that's like the moon. We follow the moon, the lunar calendar, the Jewish people. Just like the moon, one day is big, one day it's small, one day it's medium, one day you feel like a banana, one day you feel like a complete circle. Sometimes a person has to know that it's up and down, up and down. You always have to have in front of your eyes, always. Everybody has to go through some suffering. It's normal, that's the way of the world. You have to accept Hashem's decrees with love. The person can get very depressed, you can get very stressed out, and you can give up, and you can say, oh, Rabbi, I'm going to Genom Shivi anyways, so might as well do more Averot. Oh, Rabbi, anyways, Hashem hates me, He's doing all these bad things to me, again I'm suffering, again I lost money, again I'm fighting with this person, to forget everything, I'm gonna go and drop everything. So therefore a person has to know that's normal. It's normal to go up and down, have good times, bad times, and you have to be able to man the ship and be able to accept it with love, just roll with the waves. And he says, Shu Shalit Ba'olamo Lasot Bo Kertzono. HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. He is our master. We have to follow His ways. He is our faithful shepherd. And even though the sheep might think the shepherd is taking them to a bad place, he has to have faith. They have to have faith in him, because he is the only one who knows how to truly go home. So therefore, a person has to realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the same. And he says, the pasuk in Kohelet says, King Solomon says, "B'yom tova heye beto, b'yom ra'a re'eh." When it's a good day, you can be in good, you feel good. When it's a bad day, you have to look. What do you mean you have to look? He says, a person has to know, just look ahead a little bit, and you'll realize that Kadosh Baruch Hu is doing everything for a reason. A lot of times in life, when you look back, you'll realize that Kadosh Baruch Hu, all the time, you can really understand. He's doing all the time for the best, and most of the time when you look back, you'll understand. We know the famous story with the Menatan of Breslev, where he was walking in his town, and there was a house that recently burned down, and he stopped and he was staring at this guy and go through the leftovers of the house, and the students were saying to Rabbi Natan, why are you watching him? He's just a poor guy. He's looking through the garbage of his house, the remains of his house. Why are you staring at him? He says, I'm getting a big Musar lesson right now. He says, what do you mean? He says, look, even though his house burned down, he's still looking at through all the pieces for something that's left behind. He says, in our life also, whenever we do business, whenever we do a project, whenever we have an endeavor, sometimes it burns down. Sometimes we crash and burn. Sometimes things don't work out. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to take the pieces that are left over that didn't get burnt and continue and move on and keep going. Take it with you. That's why you never lost. I heard someone explain, you never lost in life. You either won or you learned. You either win or you learn. It's never you won or you lost. Even when you lose, you're always learning something. You're always going. Ask any guy who went out with a bunch of girls before he got married. He went out with this girl, went out with this girl. Every person he went out, he learned something. He didn't lose. He learned something, and then eventually made him a better person. Eventually, when he married his wife, he was able to become a better person. So you see, a person, when Hashem sends him bad things, he has to be willing to learn and realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing this for a reason. He says something that a person has to never give up with is death. A lot of times death can be a very, very scary thought, and it could be that a person thinks, people are sick, God forbid, or people are going through very bad times. He can think that someone's going to die. A person has to know that it's good in a one way, because the Mishlei says, Ashrei Adam Mefechet Tamid. Praise is the man who's scared all his life. What if he's scared all his life? Then maybe it's going to be his time, and maybe the sin that he does is going to cause him to pass away. But a person has to only use that for a positive, right? A lot of times you hear these lectures, oh, this Avera is Gehenom, and such a person gets karet, and this person's going to die young, and all these scary things. He does not have to let these things give him yeush. You're not allowed to listen to these teachings and let it give you depression. You have to take these things as a boost, as wow, this is very serious. If you drink Coke all day, so you're going to get diabetes. I got to hold myself back. I don't hear these things and get depressed from it. That's not the point. The point is to uplift you and to save you from doing those bad things. And he says that a person has to even remember, the Gemara Masechet Brachot says, even if you have a sword on your neck, the doctors came and told you, you have 2 weeks to live. So, that's it. Everything looks 99% chance that this cancer is going to kill you. That's what it is. It's going to happen. The doctors tell you, says the Gemara, even if you have a sword on your neck, you cannot give up. You have to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Just like Moshe Rabbeinu, they were going to chop his head off when the Mitzrayim found that he killed the Egyptian slave master. Hashem made a miracle, his neck turned into marble, and he ran away to Midian. So the same thing can happen to a person. The Navi came to Chizkiyahu Melech and he told him, you did not have children and therefore Hashem decreed you're going to die, and therefore you're going to die very soon. And he said to him, no, I don't believe you. He says, why don't you believe me? I have prophecy. He says, no, I know you're not a prophet. He says, why? Because we have a teaching. My Bobo told me, David HaMelech told me, even if you have a sword on your neck, you're not allowed to give up. He went to go pray by the wall, and Hashem gave him 15 more years. Even the prophet told him he's going to die. He says, you're not Hashem. And he went to Hashem and he cried and he gave him 15 more years. So you see, a person has to never give up. Ein Yeush Ba'olam Kalal. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.